What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Harry the Horse Barbecue, and today we're making the #1 spare rib in all of Texas. And we're gonna do that through the help of our two Goldee's products. Is this the best way to make spare ribs? I'm trusting Goldee's and we're gonna find out. Let's get it.
Harry the Horse Barbecue.
Whoa. Whoa. Now, I am a big fan of the Goldee's barbecue products, and I had to go and check out the Goldee's #1 in Texas all-purpose rub. Well, what is the best way to utilize this all-purpose rub? Well, it probably goes perfectly in hand with the Goldee's #1 barbecue sauce. Now, I thought to myself, what would be the best usage for the all-purpose rub and the #1 sauce? It's gotta be spare ribs. We all know Goldee's is cranking out the trinity of sausages, brisket, ribs. They're doing turkey. They're doing all the classics down there with a twist. So I wanted to see if I could make the #1 Texas spare rib at home using #1 ingredients. In order to find out, let's go shopping for some spare ribs. These look like some pretty good spare ribs. Now, shout out to one of my subscribers, Brandon. He hit me up and he said, yo, man, you gotta check out this deal that's going on at Price Chopper. He said, man, they got all natural spare ribs for $1.99 a pound. $1.99 a pound, I had to jump on that real quick. Here you can see that these ribs were $1.99 a pound. Now, when I'm picking out a spare rib, I love to go the all-natural route. You can see these are all natural, no preservatives. They're not pumped with some sort of saline solution or pumped full of salt. If I'm gonna salt ribs, I wanna be the person to be salting them and make sure they're not overly salty because they are a very thin cut of meat. Always, when you're buying spare ribs, buy 2 racks. 1 rack is not gonna cut it. Now, when you're picking out ribs, I usually go for the spare rib. And the spare ribs come from where bacon comes from, the belly of the pig. It is a fattier cut of pork, which is gonna have more juice at the end of it. They're gonna cook a lot better and they're gonna eat a lot better without the risk of drying them out during the cooking process. This is why this is my go-to ribs when I'm cooking barbecue. So let's try and make the #1 spare rib in Texas. Let's trim them up. Now, before we get to trimming, let's check out this rub. Here you can see the list of ingredients. The list of ingredients includes salt, spices. We all know what spices can mean. That includes paprika, chili pepper, turmeric, sugar, dehydrated onion, cornstarch, dehydrated garlic, natural flavor, and extractives of paprika. Let's give it a taste test. Whoa, very salty off the bat. Very peppery, almost a little Lowry's kick to this as well. I would say it's very similar to the brisket rub, except for the pepper is a lot smaller. Overall, tasting really good. This is gonna go great on these ribs. Let's try it out. Now, when we're trimming up full spares, there's a few major cuts. First major cut is this breastbone right here. Second is this skirt meat on the back. And then third is just giving it an overall shape. One other cut that I did not mention that I think is super underrated is this right here. This is from another muscle and this sits on a little layer of fat. So as soon as you're done cooking this, this could slide right off and leave you with some barkless spare ribs. All right, now we've got a nice, clean, trimmed up rack of spare ribs. Front and the back looking really nice. I do not take the membrane off, but I will score it just very quickly. All right, trimmed up, nothing to it. Super simple, super easy. This is why I love spare ribs. Now all we're gonna do is trim our second rack exactly the same, and then we'll hit it with our Goldee's all-purpose rub. Let's get it. Let's get to seasoning. Ooh, I can't wait for these ribs. And y'all know the drill around here. We're going down with a little layer of Q glue. We just want enough to spread the love. And then over the top with our Goldee's. One big whoosh and back down. Q glue and Goldee's time. You can go a little heavy on that fat patch just so that the smoke will stick to that section a little bit better and form a bark. Goldee's ribs seasoned up. Let's do the second rack. If you don't like Q glue, just do what you do. Little Goldees for the oldies. Let's give her a twist around. Our #1 Texas style spare ribs are ready and all seasoned up with our Goldee's rub. We're gonna let these sweat out a minute while we go fire up the cooker. So let's go fire up the cooker. Now we're ready to get lit. Let's get our coals in. Nice. All right, y'all, our cooker is at about 250 degrees, which is perfect to start these ribs at. We're gonna rock these temps at about 250 to 265. We don't really wanna go higher than 265 because the goal for these ribs is to build some nice smoky flavor because they're not on the cooker for all that long. Since the cooker's hot, let's go grab those spare ribs, throw them on the cooker. Let's get it. Texas spare ribs, #1 style, y'all. Let's get them on the cooker. Up and under, okay. Nice and smoky. Now when you're putting these on, you want to really bunch them together so that way they don't spread too much and that way they plump up when they cook. I've just got a water pan in here and a blocking log just so that these ribs don't get too crispy. We're gonna close this down. We're gonna rock them out at about 250 for 2-3 hours before we check on them. Let's close it down. I gotta wash my hands first. Boom, shakalaka. Let's go watch some fires. Oh, hey. 2 hours in on these ribs. Let's check them out. Got a little color going on. Nice. Looking really dry on the surface, which means apple cider vinegar and water time. Oh yeah. The true color really shines through once you give them a spray down. I wish I could see, but all this smoke is making it impossible. These ribs got some great color going on. They're looking nice and red, almost a little orange from that Goldee's rub. And then we're just gonna give them a flip. All right, y'all, we're gonna let this backside of these ribs rock out for a little bit. Never neglect the backside. It needs some attention too. Let the fire pop. Let the fire pop. Ooh, smoky. Whew. We're gonna let this backside crisp up for about 30 minutes, flip them back over, and we'll get ready to wrap here and sauce in just a little bit. Let's close it down. Boom, shakalaka. It's the 3-hour rib check time. I think now it's time to sauce them a little bit, and then we're gonna get to wrapping them. I've just been letting that sauce mixture just kind of warm up a bit on my firebox. You never want to put a cold sauce on hot ribs. Now before you sauce, you want to hit them with a little spray. This will help that sauce just spread super evenly. We're gonna let this sauce get set, and you can bet that it's gonna be good. These are gonna be some awesome Texas style spare ribs. These ribs are done and off the cooker after about 8 hours. Let's check them out. Check out the flexibility on these ribs. These ribs could be doing yoga with all their flexibility. Ooh, buddy. Do a back bend, why don't you? Let's unwrap our porky gift. Oh man. These are looking like the #1 spare ribs in all of Texas. I cannot wait any longer. Let's slice these up. These are gonna be killer. Don't forget to tickle your ribs. Tickle, 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 tickle. That's enough of that. Just look at that bark with all that juice and that sauce. Oh, if these aren't the #1 spare ribs in all of Texas, they are definitely at least Texas-sized spare ribs. These things are massive. Here goes the 1 bite test. Let's see how we did. Jeezy, that's good. Clean off the bone. Everything is so savory and like a little hint of sweetness. That's just a nugget of porky goodness. Oh yeah, that's good. Look at that smoke ring we achieved. Oh my God. And this is the sign of a perfectly done rib. You see how it starts to get a little feathery right there? Oh man, you know that's gonna bite off the bone super clean. Just look at that porky, juicy goodness. Oh. Oh, those flavors are hitting. This is pork you don't need to eat with a fork. That sauce just adds this sweet and tangy sort of flavor. OMG, it is so good. This pork is popping. OMG, it is so good. This pork is popping. They are knocking it out of the park with this straight up delicious all-purpose rub and that delicious sauce. And $1.99 a pound for these ribs, this is a massive win. It's so good. Ooh. Just take a looky-loo at that. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Good night. See you later. Done deal. It's over. These ribs are killer. I feel like I got all this juice and fat all over me, but these ribs are so worth it. Completely and entirely worth the title of the #1 spare rib in Texas. You know your ribs are done well when you got a clean bone. Thank you guys for tuning in to Harry the Horse Barbecue. I really appreciate you checking out this video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. You know you want to do it. Pop off on that subscribe button, just like these flavors on these pork ribs are popping off. You know we got that super barky Texas style spare rib, so you gotta slap that like button. Comment down below if you've tried the Goldee's rubs and sauces, and let me know what other rubs and sauces I should be trying on my spare ribs. If you like what I'm doing, you can follow me on Instagram at Harry the Horse Barbecue. I love to see what y'all are cooking. It really inspires me to get outside and cook. If you want more delicious food like this and more content that we're putting out, make sure you hit that notification bell. Everybody wants those noties. And just one more thing, y'all. This one's going straight to the horse's mouth. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace. Mmm.